Here we are, everybody. Week 3 of Legion in-house league. We have the Grarl Pals facing King Duns and Ekikar, playing last spot against more or less the first spot. They're tying the first spot with Team Witchies right now. Personally, I think it's gonna be a 2-0 for King and Iker, but I'm hoping kinda that we will have a surprise here, because it's always more fun if the top teams are getting beaten by an underdog, or at least if the games are very, very close, which is a lot more, a lot more promising for the Legion in-house league. Then there's always one team that is stomping the others. Having a look at the Legion spells, we have 2 super defensive ones with Protector and Guardian Angel, whereas Lizard Army is more or less a semi-aggressive one, because you're having the most aggression with Lizard Army on wave 13, which is 2 waves after you had your role selection. We already see Bubblefish going for the Aseria start. It's a very strong start if you're able to pull it off, if you're having the right units to support your Aseria in the early game, because you always want the Aseria to semi-tank here. So let's see how it goes for him. I really do like the Violet Tempest Cat thing actually he has. So personally, I would have not started with the Aseria in that situation. And his teammate WikiLeaks going for the Angler start. Really interesting starts because they're both a little bit more slow. On the other hand side, we have an even slower start with Bounty Hunter Sacred Steed, and a little bit more of a aggression start going with Iker, going Wild Shroom Varg. He did decide to play it safe, so he already added the Varg now instead of doing it next wave. So he's just pushing now, but he's 100% safe against any send on waves 1 and 2. On top we saw the King ups from King and Iker on wave 1, which is not only giving the King a little bit of power for early and late game, but also some income to sustain, and is taking away the power the pressure for Bubblefish and WikiLeaks. So especially with a opener like Bounty Hunter Angler, you're a little bit safer here and can calm a little, because you're not that pressured now. Okay, we actually have WikiLeaks and Bubblefish. They're both pushing 5 workers after they receive the King ups on 1. I can understand the intention here. They're both going for the income send to compensate their little greed here on wave 2. And I'm actually lucky to see that King Duns and Iker are sending once again. Double snails are coming out, so there's no pressure against Bubblefish and WikiLeaks now. They will both have the opportunity to go 5 workers, and they will not be punished therefore, which is really good for them to get through the early game where they're not that strong and get into the mid and late game. Alright, very nice Atom split play by Iker. I do like it. The Atom tanking half of the wave, which should be around the amount of units it can tank before dying. So it should perfectly survive actually, I think. Let's have a look on that. On the other side, we have King not receiving the Brood, which means he is holding this, and this is just so awesome. The Atom holding here, really, really strong. We have no leaks so far. This is a very fast game. And now Iker, after this insane hold, pushing up to 7 workers. He really wants to keep this pressure up. He's not having the perfect units to add now, because usually you don't want to add too many atoms because they need time, and you want tanks to give those atoms time. We're having King doing another steed, so he really wants this Bounty Hunter here, which has already 86 stacks, to be full stacked on wave 6, whereas we see it here on WikiLeaks only half of the amount that king has. This is really insane and really, really strong if you get this kingpin out very early, because then you don't have a lot of opportunities to get leaked. That might actually be a hold. Exactly, it looked really good for Iker at very first, but the Seria just placed good. Everything fine so far. 8 workers now in Bubblefish. He really wants to show off a little bit. He really wants to pressure King Duns. And it is more or less the last time he can do this, because King is going to shift here. We see it, around 100 gold shifted. So he will be able to to build the Kingpin on wave 6. After he is full, then he only needs 29 stacks to go. And this 80 cent might leak him a little bit, but won't harm him too much. Well, at least it should not. Nothing too spectacular going on here. So I think we should focus on King Duns. How good is he going to do here? Because it's all about his bounty hunter. We see it here, it's close to full stacked, and as soon as he's reaching the full stack, even a leak is not really too bad for him, as long as Iker is holding, and it's very close. Oh, he's still missing a few stacks, so that is not perfect. But we have Iker holding here. He's holding probably around 50% of that leak as well. But now King has to go for the non-full stacked Kingpin, which obviously is pretty strong still, but you kind of want to have it full stacked. Yeah, this is just awesome Atom play. Atom already 50% of its stacks, almost clearing the full leak from King. And as we already know, that Iker always has to clean up the things King is doing wrong, right? Just joking here. This opener is meant to need a little bit of support from your player, but now there's a huge problem. King needs 15 gold, and he can only sell for 12. He could sell a steed, but now he's in a huge deficit of gold, and he's kind of trapped a little bit. So there's a few options he can do now. He can either try to go for the butcher here. He can try to go for the I don't get the name, gate guard, or what he did is selling a steed and going for the Kingpin, because he really needed that against another 80 cent. But now he's able to push. He has the pressure now against the others, because he can free roll a little bit. He should be very strong in 6, he's very strong in 7. On 9 and 10 he's not having a too big deficit, as long as he's not undervaluing too hard. And he's now able to put the pressure back on Vicky. Oh, this is actually pretty close. The cat is not full stack here, but it is still enough for Wiki to clear the dino. We did not have any leaks so far, besides the one from King on wave 5. So this is a very clean game so far. We're having absolute equal teams. They're on the same gold amount. They're on the same worker amount. Okay, they have been on the same worker amount. Now we have Wiki 1 worker ahead. And this is going to be really interesting, because both teams had Kingpins, so it was a very slow game. It was actually perfect for King that the other team had Kingpins as well, because he's able to stack his Kingpins a little bit faster. And since the other team, WikiLeaks, the one he's sending on, has Kingpins himself, he can't snowball because he's getting those small cents. So it was actually super lucky for them that it went that way. And they've done really good. Now again, equal workers. This is a super close game so far, and especially with those passive spells, there's not a lot of spice coming with waves 11 and 12 on top of the Kingpins already being super strong on those. So this is probably being dragged to like 14, 15 till the first big hits are going to land. One more wave that is a little bit critical, or might be a little bit critical for both teams, is wave 10 actually, because wave 10 is usually a lot DPS on one target. So if you're having a lot of spam, those units are just down within seconds, and even a Kingpin with a lot of stacks is not able to just go for the 1v1. You usually want some tanks for the kingpin and all that. And with undervalue, it is going to be really hard for those teams to hold. So right now, there's not a player. I would say he's going to have a guaranteed hold on wave 10. So this is actually the first wave. We might see some interesting things. And we already see King Dance and Iker saving. But now there's 2 waves they could send on. At very first we have 9, where Bubblefish is not looking too good. But Wiki can actually go for the Kingpin. So wave 9 is like 50-50 if the Kingpin is doing enough damage or not. The second would be 10. If they're going straight 10, which is a hard thing to do with 44 income. But if they really would like to try it out, that might actually be the thing for them. Because I don't really see Bubblefish holding here. He has the buzzes, yes, but there's a lot of value, for example, in the Priestess. There's a lot of value in the Cat, which is not perfect for wave 10. And on the same, we have WikiLeaks, not with the perfect damage and a lot of spam here as well. So they are a little bit squishy on 10, to be honest. But as we see, the sensor coming out now. We have double Ogre within the income. And yeah, exactly. Everything Wiki had to do is go for the Kingpin. And now correct his split. He wants to split a little bit. He's gonna have a problem. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. He had no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 12 looters, 120 gold in looters. This is just super dead value on wave 9 a little bit. And they're gonna get a huge send. And those violets, they will be tanking in the middle of the wave. You usually don't want this to happen, especially with the orc going into the split. As long as his priestess is surviving here, let's have a look if she's getting out the second heal, because that is guaranteeing her to survive a little bit longer, which happened. Perfect for him, perfect for Bubblefish, but it is not looking any good for WikiLeaks. His Sandbatcher, he did not tank because of the split he has chosen, and the Kingpin is going down. Sandbatcher last unit alive, and the Ogre on the other side for Bubblefish. Both are leaking. This is a huge leak, and this is going to be a huge advantage for King and Iker now. Iker on 14 workers. He's really having this pressure advantage now, even though King is getting long saved already. But this is really huge. Oh, look at that, dropping down to like 20%, maybe even lower. This is close to game, man. Oh, 15%. Whew. I think Bubblefish had to kinda send here. He was starving King for a long time already. That is actually hard. After that game was so nice in the beginning, they kinda gave it away with Bubblefish not sending here, and they both were a little bit bad on wave 9. On top, Wiki did not correct his split, which let his Sandbatcher not tank. On top, another reason why this might not tank is that the Kingpin is just so far behind, so the Kingpin can easily rotate and run at the right side in front of it and into the Ogre. That might have happened as well. But let's see how they are doing. We have King now killing the Ogre, but he's pretty sure leaking the boss. At least it looks like it right now. But Iker should be able to hold here with his atoms. He's still having a Lioness, a Canopy. There's a lot of damage for him. And on the other team, we see another leak for Bubblefish, which is not really good because he's losing gold another time. Obviously, there's gonna be a hold from Wiki, but look at what this small leak here cost them. They've lost 84% of their king, and now Bubble is leaking once again. He just starved himself to death and is not really looking good for them. Obviously, they're not that far behind in gold because King was starving himself a long time as well. But the King HP is just talking a little bit of another language, which says that King and Iker are actually a huge step ahead from taking the victory here. But now it's getting interesting. Is any team ballsy enough to go for a huge play, for example with the Lizard army? Or what can we expect now? We see it here. Wiki is going for the Axac. which means he is really, really weak on 11 and 12. He has the kingpin, but on 12 with a huge send, he's still likely to leak. And we already can see the passive reaction from team Grarl Pals. They want to drag it into the late game. They did the full heal, which means they wanna have some even waves now and then just fight on like 15 plus to generate some HP back in that period. Obviously, this is giving away all their pressure since everybody sees there's no lizard army pick from anybody, because then you would now receive a lizard, and 3 players picking the protector, and Kingdom's going for the GA on his massive kingpin with 141 stacks. And we already see it here. Vicky is so close to leaking already, and he has an exact that is not dying, and there's the sense they're coming out, and there's an ogre at least. There might be a brute after income, probably a snail as well. And the sense from Iker against Bubblefish are even bigger with his huge worker advantage, and there's only one chance they now are able to win, which is hold this send and then proceed with better pressure. And now this is a hard decision to be made, but Vicky knows with this Exag and with Bubble not being that great on 12, he's lacking a little bit of tanks. He's lacking a little bit of Pierce in case he has no tanks. So he has to go for the second Kingpin, which would make them vulnerable on other waves, because he's now stopping to get stacks. And this is all about this wave. Either they're doing good, holding here. I mean, with 2 Kingpins it is possible, but he's not having any tanks besides the Kingpins and a few smaller ones. Either they're doing good now, holding, and they have some pressure left because they did not do decide for the king ups, or they're just dying here, and it looks not too good. Bubblefish looking... Oh, that is not a preset, this is an Asaria. Okay, that might actually hold. Pretty big play from Bubblefish, whereas Vicky is leaking here. He's having his egg broken, but this Asaria might be able to actually clear out all the sand. Oh, damn it. I like this now. I do like this. This is actually a possible comeback. Obviously, they're far behind in worker, and they have to end this as soon as possible, because King and Iker, they will just over-income them in the long run. But if they're now making the right play, they can actually win this game. Ah, what a beautiful thing by Bubblefish after his 2 more or less bad leaks he had before. Now carrying this wave, that was really huge. Getting the biggest end and carrying this wave, but there's still this work advantage. 10 workers behind. 10. Oh shit, that is going to be hard. Alright, what is the play now? The problem is the following. We already see it here. The mid game is almost equal again. And Bubblefish and Wiki, they did not send. So you can see how impactful this work advantage is they're having. And there's this one problem. Iker has those canopies, which are not really bad on 14, and King Duns has all those possible bounty hunters. So the worst wave for King and Iker now is absolutely 16. They're not looking too good on 16, but even if Bubblefish and Wiki are able to go straight 16, King and Iker can just go for the full king up. They will have a huge amount of value, and they're probably just gonna hold this. And we see it here. Bubblefish and Wiki, they're gonna hold the lines. They really try to save longer, but they're now getting out income. We see it here, over 100 income plus for them. They will get over 100 gold now every wave, and this gold advantage they're having, it's now already 500. It will be 700, 750, 800, with leaks even more next wave, and going on and on and on. And choosing wave 16 as a finishing wave is usually not very good if the enemies are still having full king, because yeah, if you just upgrade the king attack and AoE damage, normally you are able to hold pretty good on wave 16 with the king. So this is a huge and risky play they now have to take. Bubblefish and Wiki, it's all about those kingpins, getting those last hits, getting those heals right there, and for Bubblefish to clear as good as he can. I mean, his Asteria is still alive. You can probably heal against the wave a little bit and clear 1 or 2 more units, which would be pretty good. We have on the same side, we have some leaks for Wiki as well. So there's leaks everywhere. Even though there's a lot of Froggos that might be game, it is very close because of the pack leader buffing the Froggos is actually huge. It is going to be a massive risk now. And I'm pretty sure Bubblefish and Wiki are going against 16. Oh my god, they're sending 15. What? Okay. They are now sending 15. I mean, it is the way safer choice to go 15 instead of going 16, because they know they're not that good on 16 themselves. They are far behind, and they are probably just running into a full upgraded king, which is now coming out. This king from King and Eker from Team 2 is now fully upgraded. Every team more or less on 0 Mythium, like everybody just gone down 0 Mythium. And this is now kinda it. If there's huge leaks coming and they're dropping to like 30%, that might actually be still a game. Otherwise, this is basically over. And we see the sends here, 560, 580. That is not too much for an all-in play, but the values, let's just have a look at King Dun's value. It's not too great. His kingpins obviously have a lot of stacks, with that a lot of hidden value, and Eker with a lot of value here. Probably those boss and double 4 is not gonna help too much, but let's get surprised. They both did not have the perfect units for this play, and there's leaks coming out. I see the double boss coming, we see a double 4i, and we see a shaman. And this is not over yet. This is actually pretty close. Now there's only one problem. When are both teams able to finish this off? Oh my gosh, this is really close. The problem is the following. Bubblefish and Wiki, the Grarl Pals, they can't finish on 17 because King is just too strong there. 3 kingpins, every of them with over 100 stacks. You cannot finish them on 17. So 18 looks like the best play, or 16 with a hard greed, but 16 cent now, it is going to be risky. It is a choice, but it's risky, and we see it here. The full, or not full push, but the huge push for Wiki, it is a full push. It is a full push. Those two are mad. They're going for the full push for the all-in on 16, and I love this play. This is now the all-in for them. They're either gonna kick King and Eker from their thrones, they're gonna take the victory here in game 1, or they're gonna go home, because on 17 they will have not a single chance. Let's have a look over there. This is really close, and with their values they might actually leak themselves here. But look at Eker. He's having a fine value, but he's having almost only trash units for 16. The only good thing is the gates, which having regeneration, and they're spawning faster because of the Star Collar. And King even going for the exec with undervalue. Oh my gosh. But the gates, they're just too powerful right there. The gates are carrying this Eker with the gates and the heal from Protector. They had this opportunity. They had this opportunity. They used it, and it kinda, yeah, it gone wrong. It absolutely gone wrong. The gates, we see it here. How many did he have? Only one big gate and 2 small ones. It is, oh, I feel so bad for them. I feel so bad for them. That was their huge choice. Wait, they're going for another send. Okay, I think that is pure int now. Right? Is it? Oh my god, this is so close. I mean, they're having a huge amount of workers and this is gonna be a race anyway. But winning a race against gates is usually not a thing you will win. Oh my gosh, but I don't see Eker leaking once again. King might actually leak here, but I don't see Eker leaking here once again, and this is probably just a death sign. There's another dead egg for King Duns. So she's not looking too great, but 3 kingpins, come on. One of them with Guardian Angel and the Ogre likely to get sniped very soon. I would really love to see an underdog win here, but it is just not gonna happen. It is probably just not gonna happen. Bubblefish and WikiLeaks, they will just lose the race on 18, I think. And there's no chance they're gonna win this because Eker and the gates he's having, they're just too powerful. But there might be the one thing they're still having a chance if they're really slow leaking, which is not gonna happen against those big sends. But Eker would probably leak and King Duns will as well, but the sends will be too small this time. There's even more time given for Eker's 6T worker, and that is kinda it. Oh, god damn, that was such an intense game, I have to say, but in the very end, I think the gates hold on 16 was just a little bit too powerful. If they got Eker good there, like 50% of the wave, they would have probably taken the win in this game 1. But not like this. Look at those cents. That is around 1k cent. Now coming to everybody, Bubblefish and Wiki, even a little bit more than 1k, and there's actually no chance. I think nobody told Wiki that spam doesn't work with Hades anymore. So, well, actually I did in a stream a few days ago. But for you everybody, Hades are not working with spam anymore. So I hope he only did it against the wave and not to buff his Hades. But now we have 2 slow leaking lanes. We have Wiki here with his Hades, and we're having Eker here with his gates. But I think we should focus here on the Bubblefish and WikiLeaks side, because there should be no chance holding a 1k send on both of them, even a little bit more. Yeah. That looks pretty much like game. The gates are just holding this even. And that is it. That is game number 1 won by team 2.